Hello, Finance and Governance Committee. This is Sherry Klima. I'm your Deputy City Manager, and today I'm presenting to you on the Whistleblower Activity Report. The recommendation is that the Finance and Governance Committee receive and file an update on the whistleblower matters. And the background on this item is that the City Council adopted a whistleblower hotline policy in 2016. That policy states that the city will take all appropriate steps to thoroughly evaluate any allegation of, quote, improper governmental action that are brought to its attention. And that term, improper governmental action, means any activity by a local agency or employee that's undertaken in the performance of the employee's official duties, including activities deemed to be outside the scope of his or her employment, that is in violation of any local, state, or federal law or regulation relating to corruption, malfeasance, bribery, theft of government property, or willful omission to perform duty, is economically wasteful, or involves gross misconduct. According to the policy, the complaints must remain confidential. The identity of the complainant may not be revealed without the permission of the complainant, except to appropriate law enforcement agency conducting a criminal investigation. There are, according to the policy, 3 priority levels that the internal auditor can determine that a whistleblower complaint fall under. So in the first instance, when the internal auditor receives a complaint, they have to determine whether the issue is even relevant to fraud, waste, and abuse. And if it is relevant, then they determine the priority. So high priority is a potential loss to the city of more than $75,000, high level management involvement, the collusion of multiple wrongdoers, major department-wide issues, or the need for immediate action to stop a potential major issue. Something deemed medium priority is a potential loss to the city of more than $25,000, includes the abuse of authority, medium to low-level employee involvement, minor department-wide issues, or patterns of small issues that could be significant cumulatively. And then something deemed low priority is a potential loss to the city of up to $25,000, is comprised of isolated instances of time abuse, wasteful practices that could lead to efficiencies if corrected, or allegations that lack credibility and evidence. So on June 6th of 2022, Henry Ohm of Price Page informed us that due to what he called capacity constraints, Price Page would no longer be able to continue to monitor the whistleblower program. However, we later learned that, in fact, the industry has completely shifted away from the staffing that Price Page provided, and has moved toward automated systems. In other words, automated voicemail systems, automated website systems. It's not an individual or a company where individuals are reviewing these the way that Price Page used to do for us. So we couldn't simply issue an RFP for the same amount of work or the same type of work. We had to actually draft an RFP for an automated system, which ultimately went to Centrio Incorporated in November of 2022. Then we had to work with Centrio to create and configure and test this automated system. So we were actually piecing together a new, you can think of it as a new website and all of the different flows. So when you click on a certain selection on the website, where is it going to take you? what is the next choice that you have, and what reports are created on the back end based on what a user selects. So we had to configure all of that. And then we also had to work with our internal auditor. Um, Before this, we had a contract with an internal auditor that was basically an as-needed contract. Council or staff could give them anything to investigate that was deemed relevant to investigate. Now we had to add to our internal auditor's functions and figure out sort of when they would be involved and when staff would be involved. So the result is our current system, which went live in April of this year. And what we configured, you're welcome to go onto the city's website and type in, whistleblower hotline. It will guide you directly to this website. And our staff has all received, and it's up in the various staff rooms, lunch rooms and so forth across City Hall, what the whistleblower website is and what the phone number is and what the mailing address is, all of which are also listed in the staff report. And when somebody submits any kind of complaint through any of those channels, the website or the voicemail service or whatever compiles all that information and sends it directly to the internal auditor, which is a company called Vasquez. Vasquez then has 24 hours to determine whether the report is a fiscal matter that is city related. As you know, we receive reports that are not fiscal, for example, HR allegations, or, during COVID, we received a lot of COVID complaints and so forth. And we receive all kinds of complaints that are outside of the city's purview. Even if they are fiscal, they are not city related. So we receive complaints related to the county or to different state agencies or to non-governmental agencies. So if the internal auditor within 24 hours determines that it is fiscal and city related, then they have another 24 hours to determine and enter back into the Centrio system if the matter is high, medium, or low priority. And we already defined high, medium, and low priority. And then high and medium priority items, the internal auditor automatically investigates. They let staff know we are investigating a matter. They don't tell us the details of the matter. They just give us a price quote and a date when they expect to have it done. And they keep us updated weekly of, actually, we think we need a little more funding or a little more time, or we're on schedule and working according to our time estimate. When they believe they're done, they send us a report. Staff can comment on that report and give them feedback, but ultimately it is their report, and they submit that report directly to the Finance and Governance Committee and then go to the City Council. If it is a low priority matter, then they do contact staff, and we decide together if it is something that the internal auditor should investigate. In many cases, they're still going to investigate it. There may be very small items that are isolated in a very particular department that we can have another department investigate. If, for example, it's in housing or in public works or in IT or wherever the investigation, the allegation may be centered, maybe the city manager's office can investigate, maybe finance can investigate, maybe HR can investigate, or collectively. And then if the investigation can be done in-house for a cheaper price, and we think the integrity of the investigation is still preserved, then we may choose to do so in-house. The actual report will still be provided to the Finance and Governance Committee. So since June 6th, 2022, we have had 11 complaints come through the 2 different whistleblower systems. These listed on this slide are the 5 that came through Price Page last fall. And as you can see, all 5 of them were deemed non-fiscal or city related. And then this spring, we've had 6 more complaints come through for a variety of different complaints, variety of different allegations. However, all of them have been deemed non-fiscal or city related. That means that for all 11 of these, the prior auditor and our current auditor are not investigating these, and they are closed out. As new items come through, the new auditor, Vasquez, will be each time determining if something is fiscal or city related, if it has merit, and then its priority. And if it has medium or high priority, they will automatically investigate those. Going forward, these 6-month status updates will be prepared for you by staff, and you will get updates by the staff, not by the auditor. In the prior model, Price Page staff would come in and they would do the presentations for you. However, that is not offered in any of the current service models, and so staff will be doing the status updates. If anything is investigated, if the auditor is looking into anything, you will hear from the auditor directly, not from staff. So again, the recommendation is that the Finance and Governance Committee receive and file an update on the whistleblower matters. I will be at the meeting in order to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.